Now, you asked me about the process of the film. Now, how was it for you?
Well, it's been an immense process when I think about it, and how I think, you know, I work that way, that, you know, inspiration somehow, as I said before, it just, you know, often comes from the outside, you know, the spark.
Yes, yeah.
And then something happens with me, and I often had that, like in conversations, somebody says something and then there's the idea.
Yeah.
And when you said yes, in the beginning I first had this thingy, oh, professional camera and stuff, and I think we actually said, okay, maybe it's just for exploration, and then later we get a professional camera person. And then I saw, you know, I think our very first time was going to the mines.
Yes.
And I saw how brilliantly, for me that was a discovery too, you know, how brilliantly you were actually with camera.
Wow,
and how beautiful that was, what we did at the mines. And I felt so much at ease with you, and I think that was very important for me as well, because it just made me so aware, you know, if you find somebody who's on the same wavelength, it makes it so much more joyful, and it's easier to get into that place where you just do things instead of trying to work out in your head, you know, that's what you're supposed to.
Yes, that's right.
So the process, when I think of it, when we went to the mines, we just did do it. Yeah. Because that was still, we just explore.
Yes, and I didn't even know how to use your camera.
Yeah.
So we were experimenting from the beginning.
We were experimenting, and then I think after that I got into this mode. Okay, now I need to be professional. I need to do my storyboard. So I tried to you know, find on the internet little video tutor things about storyboard, and this first storyboard, and it was such a small scene, you know, at the mines, and that first storyboard already freaked me out, because I'm not that good in drawing, and how do you do the, you know, and the more I got, you know, the more I got into it, the more frustrating it got, and the more fixated my ideas got, like how it should be done. Yeah. And so I think I went through that bit where I was kind of influenced by other people wanting me to be perfect, not having a German accent, for example, you know. So it's a combination of my own perfectionism, which has been reflected in the outside. Yeah, yeah. And going to that course, you know, where again you learned, oh, zooming, you shouldn't zoom in, and you shouldn't do this and that and the other. And at the same time, seeing, you know, from these 3 groups we had at this, you know, taster session, that we were the most inexperienced one, and that our stuff was actually the best. I mean, that sounds very arrogant, but that's how I perceived it. Yeah. And it just, for me, I think the discovery was to really trust my instincts and to free myself of what other people expect of me, how to do things. Yeah. And I think working with you has really enabled me to do that. Yes, yes.
Because we don't set any restrictions on each other. Yeah. Yeah. So okay. What do you think has been the most important thing that has come out of this collaboration for you? Up to now. I mean, there'll be others to come, but so far in the process, what do you think you've discovered about yourself and about the way you work?
Well, I mean, there's 2 things. One thing is that it's just such a relief to be together in it. You know, that I think actually when I look at what we've just done yesterday, I think that was an immense step in our process, because, you know, yesterday I really even didn't think about, has she done a close-up of this and that and the other. It didn't cross my mind, whereas before, you know, because we had these beautiful shots before, I wanted to repeat them. Yeah. But I somehow, through that process, I think I discovered to trust.
Let go.
To let go. So to trust you, that you'll get the right shots. Yeah. Which work, and to trust myself. And I think the greatest discovery for me is that I can go to a place and have the idea, go into the tree. and I just do it. And
yes.
I think it has allowed me the way, you know, I have the feeling, I have the permission from you that I can do that you don't say afterwards, oh, you know, I didn't expect you to walk towards the camera, don't do this. Or, you know, at the Stone Circle where I was playing with the camera, it's kind of, it's getting the permission to do it. Because I always get to this place where I think, oh, I want to do this, and then, you know, to actually do it, it's kind of, you need to give yourself the permission.
Yes.
But if the other person is that spontaneous and in the flow, it's easier to go.
Yes, I think it's important to have that playfulness and not to lose it, because that's when some interesting things can happen, because you're actually letting yourself go completely, like as a child does, and you're acting in innocence again. So you're getting to the core of your being.
So I think for me, you know, it's been so important to realize that I'm the best when I am in that playfulness and can allow myself to improvise instead of what we talked a little bit before. You know, sometimes you do something, you feel it isn't right, and then I go in my head, try to analyze it and try to work at it, how a proper actor or actress should be doing it, and it's kind of just work. That's what it is. Whereas, you know, when I look, especially with the tree alley, because we've been there so often, and I got so frustrated and tried to work it out, and I had many ideas, but to trust that processes itself.
Yes.
And it, you know, and if I do it again and trust that just the right thing comes. And I think it has I've been trained actually very much to listen to my instincts, but even I think I've gone further now to listen to my own inspiration, in a sense, and just to go for it. And the most important thing was to free myself of how you're supposed to be doing things.
Yes.
You know, and to be in that flow.
Yes. Well, I think it bodes very well for the future, because I think I feel that we're just in the start of something that could be really quite interesting.
I think so too, actually.
And creatively, pretty important. Well, certainly for both of us.
Yes, definitely.
So let's see what the future holds.
Well, I hope it'll hold a lot.
Yes.